Let's go ahead and get started here. We'll start off by running the SQL script to set up the database tables for security. And we already have the files available in this directory called SQL scripts, and this video will make use of this 04 setup spring security.sql file, and this will set everything up for our plain text database. Now let's go ahead and swing over to MySQL Workbench, and we'll open up this SQL script. And now I'm logged in here. Let's go ahead and do a file open SQL script. And I'll move down to my project directory. So in this video, we have everything in dev Spring Boot, 05 Spring Boot REST Security. And then we'll move into this 00 Spring Boot REST Security folder. And then we'll move into SQL scripts. And then we'll select the file 04 setup spring security demo database plaintext.sql. Alrighty, so we have this file open. We'll move in here. We'll go ahead and drop any of the previous tables that are there. And then I'll move down here and I'll create this table for users. And I'll specify the columns for username, password, and enabled. And again, make sure the table names and columns are exactly the same because they'll follow Spring Security's predefined table schema. And now let's go ahead and insert some sample data for our users. So our three users, John, Mary, and Susan. And remember, test123 is the password. And then we have the no-op and curly brace. That's the encoding algorithm ID. And remember, for no-op, it lets Spring Security know that the passwords are stored as plain text. And we'll get into all the encryption stuff in some of the later videos. And then we move down here to this next section of creating a table for authorities, the username and the authority. And remember, authorities is the same or loosely the same as roles. And then we move down here and we insert the roles for a given user. So here we insert the roles for John. He's an employee. Mary's an employee and a manager. Susan's an employee, manager, and admin. And remember, Spring Security will prefix the role underscore for each one of those role names. Alrighty, so that all looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and execute this SQL script. Alrighty, so that script executed. And then over on the left-hand side, let's just kind of do a refresh all here so we can get those new tables. Okay, great. So we have these two new tables, users and authorities. Let's go ahead and do a quick query here on the users table. And we see our three users here, John, Mary, and Susan. We can go ahead and check on the authorities of the roles here by doing a query here. And now we can see the appropriate roles here for John, Mary, and Susan. So this all looks pretty good. Now, one thing I want to show you here is just a way of how to generate the actual database diagram, just so you can see the relationship between the different tables. So I'll go up here and I'll say reverse engineer. I'll choose my connection. I'll go ahead and log in accordingly. And I'll just kind of hit continue over here. I select my database schema, employee directory, and continue. And continue again. Make sure those items are checked there. Go ahead and hit execute. And then one more item here. And then finally we can hit close. And now we have the schema. So you may have to kind of scroll down a bit to see the tables. At the moment, there's three tables: the employee table that we've been using earlier, and now these are the security tables, users and authorities. So we have a user table and then authorities. So a user can have one-to-many roles or one-to-many authority entries or whatever. So that's the idea here as far as the relationship. Alrighty, so this looks pretty good. So we have our information in the database. Now let's go ahead and move into the next video and let's start writing the code and kind of pulling this all together.